Hello guys and welcome to SteveKnows. I've got so many epic virtual reality news stories to go over today. This week has been rather exciting. We've got the non-official Quest store, the version 25 update, some new patents, new games coming soon, new games that have just released, updates, DLC, there's just so much here. And if you're new here, the first time you're here, please consider subscribing to the channel. I do weekly updates every weekend about what's been occurring in the virtual reality space. So I think enough chinwagging, let's get started. So let's start this off with probably the biggest piece of news. It's been a long time since we've had an update. We've been stuck on the version 23 update for the Quest for so long, and we're going to skip version 24 and we're going to go straight to version 25. And as always, they are solving some of the most annoying problems with the Oculus Quest headset. I still don't have the update at the time of filming this. Sad times. It's on some random rolling update system as they always do. So you may have it. So you can go to your settings, go to About at the bottom of settings and see if you've got version 25. But to make us aware of this update, there was a blog post on the Oculus forum stating all of the expected changes that are coming. So let's go over them and what they actually mean. The first of which is Facebook Messenger. This will be available as an Oculus application for those that have linked their Facebook account. Just seems like more merging of Facebook features into the Oculus Quest when the Quest already has a chat system. But it does mean that you can chat with your family and friends, which is pretty much all I use Facebook for these days anyway. And you can do this without having to leave virtual reality, or you can invite your family and friends to a virtual reality experience with a party invite via the chat. Not everyone's going to have this update in version 25 because this is a rolling feature. So some of you may have it, some of you may not, but keep an eye out. There is also a new and improved Guardian. Finally, I find it so annoying in stationary mode that I wish they would add some sort of setting to make it so the circle can be larger incrementally, but hey ho. So we have an update to remove the Guardian grid. I find it really annoying because the grid shows up way before you're actually going out of your play space and the pass-through kicks in. But it's now letting you remove that from your play area, and stationary would also be responsive to the headset now instead of your hand movements, which again is a great idea because I love playing Beat Saber, and when I've got stationary on, if you're swinging your arms, the grid will pop up or the Guardian will prompt you saying, hey, you're kind of going out of your play space, and you're still there, you're still in that spot, you're just swinging your arms. So now it's going to be based off your head instead of your hands. Pass-through, the double tap pass-through feature is no longer an experimental feature, it's going to be in general. This feature can be very helpful where you just simply double tap the side of your headset and it will enable pass-through mode. So if you have a delivery or someone's at the door, you can just double tap the headset, answer to the postman with your headset on. Always fun. There are also some virtual reality profile changes that for some of you, you may enjoy this, but I'm not really that fussed, but it may make life easier for yourselves. It's an updated UI so you can have profile cards pop up from the home menu for easier access to friends without having to leave applications. The same with your Facebook friends as well. If you've got that account integration, you can see your Facebook friends in a much easier, more integrated fashion. Just easier to see pictures and find them from a single place without having to leave a game. The universal menu got an update as well, which I find pretty interesting because before it was a developer only enabled feature, but this overlay feature now should pop up for all applications. It is an experimental mode though, so you will have to go to the experimental feature section and toggle it on. The overlay is when you're in game and you press the home button, it'll give you a menu on top of your game instead of asking you to leave the game so you can do some basic functionality. It's a really useful feature. I'm glad they've added it. And some of you in my Discord were saying that the update looks different, but you couldn't put your finger on it. Well, there actually has been some UI changes as well, such as they've got a new sleeker toolbar design where it's easier to select menu items. And also when you're in a party, you can now view party details and leave the party directly from that universal menu instead of going back to the home screen, then to the social, and then bailing. The Oculus browser got an update as well, and I like this one. It's a big one, that is a pun, where you can resize the screens horizontally. I don't know if that means to scale so it'll go vertical as well, but if we can make ultra wide browser screens, I'm totally down for that. That sounds awesome. So just hover over one of the menus in the left corner and use the triggers or the grip buttons to resize it. Apparently it's that simple. They've also added the ability to add a Bluetooth mouse. I like this. I'm definitely going to try the K830 keyboard, the Logitech keyboard that they used in the Infinite Office advert, as it's got a trackpad on it as well as a keyboard. So you can add a Bluetooth mouse now. You have to enable this in the experimental features though. So you go to settings, experimental features, and enable it. And then you can then pair a mouse, which you can use in virtual reality. It's pretty interesting. This next one is a great feature for a lot of us, because many of you guys, like myself, we like to share content to our Oculus community Facebook groups. So there's now a built-in editor for you to trim your videos before uploading them to Facebook. Because at the start of a recording, you always have that kind of nonsense of you starting the recording and then booting up the game, and then at the end, you stopping the recording. So now you can kind of trim it down, get rid of those pieces, so the video clips are much more seamless experience for your viewers. But there is a catch: the video does have to be longer than 30 seconds, just so you are aware. The Oculus Link has also got some improvements, so don't forget to update your desktop application to version 25. I'm pretty impressed that they've managed to do this. It's some sort of wizardry, but they've managed to get 80Hz and a 90Hz refresh rate working with a USB 2.0 cable. What is this wizardry? Although they did say you may experience problems even on the best GPUs using 90Hz with this cable, but you can still do it. Apart from that, it's mostly been bug fixes for the Oculus Link, and notable ones are the black screens that were occurring for people, or random pop-ups saying that the link is not working when everything was set up correctly. So hopefully you don't have those problems anymore. So there's lots there for you to enjoy and try out once you've got the update, but there are some more features, some more nice cheeky things that Oculus have brought to us, but they're not included in the version 25 update. There's something else. So it's no secret at this point that the non-official store has finally released on the Oculus Quest. You do not need the latest update to enjoy this. It seems to be a server-side update that affects SideQuest and the Oculus Store. AppLab, for those that don't know, is the non-official store where developers can release their games without having to meet the really stringent, tough policies that they have for the official Oculus Quest store. We've seen some amazing games that haven't made it to the official store because of this policy, but now there is a way around it. I had spoken to a dev about this process because there's still an approval process to get on AppLab, and I was told it's comparable to getting a game onto the PC platform, so the Oculus Rift platform. So there still are some technical requirements, such as a steady frame rate to get onto this store, but it's nowhere near as hard as the official store. People have also been asking the question, what's going to be happening to SideQuest? Well, it seems SideQuest are actually involved in this, and the previous statement I made about SideQuest would mean that SideQuest will still be supporting alpha games and titles that don't meet the policy to be on AppLab. So I don't think SideQuest is actually going anywhere just yet in the short term. So to install these games, simply visit SideQuest in the browser of your headset or a computer or on your phone and search for the game, or go to the AppLab section of the store and it will say Oculus app instead of the usual install button that it had. So you'd click this and it will open up an Oculus designed web page where you can purchase or install the game directly to your headset. You may have to be logged into your account before doing this though. You can also search on the official Quest store on the PC, but the search functionality isn't great. So if you search Crisis Brigade, only the first game comes up, not the sequel. So you have to be explicit with this method. The games available for you to play right now, there are some good ones, is Ancient Dungeon, a great game, Baby Hands, Crisis Brigade 1 and 2, epic titles, Deism, another good one, Descent Alps demo is fun, Gym Class, Marineverse, Puzzling Places, Smash Drums, and Zoe. There are more games coming to AppLab as well. There's been lots of people tweeting out that they're going through this process, and one of them finally is Pavlov. Dave Vills did say it was going to come to the platform in February, but that was last year. I'm just glad it's coming. One of the most well-rounded first-person shooter experiences in virtual reality as a whole, and now on the Oculus Quest. And people who were not able to enjoy it previously due to not being able to sideload can now install it super easily and play online with multiplayer, terrorist town, or zombies. The game on SideQuest had seen over 370,000 downloads. I think that says enough. This is a faster paced first person shooter than the likes of Contractors and Onwards. It's more of the kind of Call of Duty style that we know from mainstream gaming, or Counter-Strike is probably a better comparison. It has realistic reloading mechanics for every single weapon, so you may need to spend some time learning them, because it becomes rather important when you're online in a fast paced multiplayer shooter to reload fast and get ready. The game may still come to the official store, but that's yet to be decided apparently. And as to when it's going to hit AppLab, I don't know. Dave Vills just said soon. So Dave Vills did tweet out and he said yes, Build 24 of Pavlov's Shack will be released on AppLab soon, and continued development as a free game. Final store release and price is to be decided in the long term, so we still don't know when it's coming, but it is going to be free, because that's great news, because there were some free games on SideQuest that now actually cost a little bit of money now they're on AppLab. So it's good to hear that this is going to be free still. Now, I want to go over some interesting statistics to show that virtual reality, the landscape of VR, we are growing. And it's all thanks to us as a community. We're growing together. It's definitely a good feeling to have this passion. We've had it for a while, and it's finally getting some recognition and blowing people's minds. So the first of which is the Quest has just jumped to the second most used virtual reality headset on Steam, which is nuts because this headset is supposed to be a standalone device, and its ability to connect to a PC was a post-launch add-on. Granted, one that Oculus have committed to since they have discontinued the Rift S, but please comment down below and let me know if you're one of these people that use your Oculus Quest to play PC VR gaming. There are also 2.6 million monthly virtual reality users on Steam, so including other platforms and the standalone devices, we surpassed that number also. And looking at the graphs over the last 4 years, we are just seeing that hockey stick growth that Carmack mentioned at OC6, and it's getting faster. And secondly, Steam users with a virtual reality headset now account for 2% of the user base. And I know that that number doesn't sound like much, but it's the first that the Steam stats have shown these figures, and that's nearly the same amount of people that are using a 4K primary monitor, or the amount of people that are using a Mac on Steam. Just to give you some perspective of those numbers, it's pretty impressive. Go us! There are legends among us, and they're called Dr. Beef and Bumser, as they've just brought us a welcome add-on to the Quest Z Doom game that is available for free on SideQuest. Quest Z Doom is a retro classic modification of the game Doom in 6DOF, so you can enjoy it in virtual reality, but they also had an interface where you can add your own modifications to the game to make it your own, to make it different, to make it gory, add more weapons, but they've just added something else. Wolfenstien 3D, an iconic retro title from 1992 for the PC, can now be enjoyed in 6DOF virtual reality, so you can take out Nazis as Blazkowicz during World War II. And this game used some amazing technology to make its renders the world around it that you play in 3D. So if you want to nerd out as well and check out the development of this game, give that a YouTube watch or a Google. It's really, really quite genius. I think it's time to talk about some new games coming soon to the Quest platform. First is Vanishing Grace, and if that rings a bell, it's because this was available on SideQuest. But now this game is expected to launch on February the 11th for $20 on the official Oculus Quest store, and they expect to work on Quest 2 specific improvements post-launch as well. In the game, you will play Joel, who is looking for his childhood friend, of course Grace, who went missing, hence the name. You will travel across the desert using your hovercraft in search for your friend, so it has that kind of mystery-solving, detective puzzle vibe to the gaming experience. On SideQuest, when I previously played this in the alpha a long time back, it had really nice visuals then and tons of worldly interactions this game has promise. The trailer also hints at a rather emotional story that you can get invested in, as it goes from bright and determined to rainy, dark and emotional. So there is another game that's hit the official Quest store, and it's called Catan VR. This is a port that launched on the Rift platform, the Gear platform and the Oculus Go, so it's been around a while, but VR is new for a lot of people. So this one may appeal to you. It is based on a classic board game called The Settlers of Catan. This game was released in 1995 and it consists of up to 3 to 4 players. So the game will have you play online with friends, and it's going to be cross-platform for the Rift and Go as well. So hopefully there are some people for you to play with, but there will also be an AI mode as well in case you just want to be alone. I've never played this game or even heard of it, so I downloaded the rulebook, the PDF, and it seems like quite a big game. It seems like you have this map, there are 19 terrains on it, and you have to make a settlement and expand as much as you possibly can. Each kind of terrain can also have a different type of resource available to you, which you can use, such as brick, wood, and grains. Maybe some of you have a close affiliation with this game, playing it with your grandpa back in the day. So some of you, it may excite you. And we've seen as well that board games and card games can be really fun in virtual reality. So I know you hear this is a board game, but perhaps some of you like that. Okay, and finally, let's talk about a new patent that's just emerged for the PlayStation VR, and it looks like a really interesting way to have family and friends be part of the virtual reality experience, because VR is always kind of like a solo experience. It's hard to get other people involved outside of the headset. So it uses a method that will augment the virtual reality experience based on spectator inputs using participation devices, aka your phone. So the aim would be to ask the spectator for an opinion, or for them to select an option and vote on something that would affect the VR world of the person that's actually playing the game. The example on the patent would be people voting for one of 3 items for the user to be given in game. They vote for a ladle, and then in the title, as you can see on the screen, the user is then given a ladle. It does sound like a virtual reality version of the Playlink, which to my recollection didn't do so well for Sony, but maybe they're adapting that tech to virtual reality. It may work because VR gaming is very different to traditional flat screen gaming. Or it could be Sony just submitting the patent so no one takes the idea. So that's it from me today, guys. Thanks for watching to the end of the video, getting caught up on the weekly virtual reality news, what's been occurring in the VR space. Please subscribe to the channel because I'm here every weekend giving you the weekly updates, also with random videos throughout the week that you guys might enjoy. So please subscribe to the channel. Thanks to my patrons, you absolute legends. Happy gaming, guys. Good day.